Welcome to Flip That Script, the sacred space where deep healing meets hypnotherapy and old wounds finally meet their match. We're your host.
I'm Dana, clinical hypnotherapist, story alchemist, breaker of generational patterns, and recovering overgiver with a sharp tongue and a softer heart.
I'm Hollie, clinical hypnotherapist, heart led healer, midwife for your inner rebirth, and I carry fire in my bones and gentleness in my gaze.
And together, we blend the beauty of hypnotherapy with neuroscience, rewiring your subconscious, calming your nervous system, and helping you finally break free from trauma loops, limiting beliefs, and toxic relationship patterns.
This isn't just self help, it's sacred reprogramming. It's where transformation gets real, healing gets holy, and you remember the truth.
You were never broken, just buried beneath stories that were never yours. So take a breath, take up space, and let's flip that script.
Welcome back to Flip That Script. I'm Hollie,
And I'm Dana.
and this week we are going to talk about turning pain into power. And isn't that a vast topic? So there's not one particular kind of pain that we're talking about here today. It could be pain from intimate relationships. It could be the pain of relationships with your parents, with your mom or your father that stem from when you were little, or even relationships with your job, your career, your bosses. It's such a big topic. And we're here today to help you kind of sort through it and give you some tips and tools to start transmuting that pain into power.
I mean, and we all have our own stories. Because, I wasn't always a hypnotherapist. I wasn't always this woman sitting here with a mic and a mission. Yeah, I wasn't always this version of me, the woman who knows her worth, speaks her truth, and walks with power. I became her. And it all started with a breakup. See, once upon a time, there was this man, and it started off like a dream. He made promises, whispered futures into my ear, made me believe that we were building something together. But slowly, I started to disappear inside of that relationship. My needs were too much, my feelings inconvenient, my light was dimmed on purpose. And I poured love into him from a cup that was already cracked, thinking that if I could just be enough, that he would stop hurting me, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And I lost count of how many times I swallowed my voice just to keep the peace. And still, it was never enough. And the final blow, he didn't just break my heart, he broke my sense of self. And I remember lying there one night, just staring at the ceiling, feeling like I'd flatlined inside my own life. I remember thinking, is this it? Is this all I'm meant for? Is this all that's meant for me? Just surviving. Isn't there anything more? And then there were two distinct voices that pulled me from the rubble. Hollie and Jill, our other friend. They're my sisters in this life and probably 10 before it. And they sat with me in the dark. They didn't try to fix me. They just reminded me who I was. And they told me that I didn't have to stay down, that I could rise. And honestly, they handed me a match and said, burn the old story and create a new one. And that's when Hollie introduced me to hypnotherapy. And we enrolled together because we wanted to understand why we stay, why we shrink, and why we forget that we're powerful. and more importantly, how we find our way back to ourselves. And so there we were, two women rebirthing ourselves in real time. We studied, we cried, we transformed. We remembered who we were. But that breakup didn't destroy me. It delivered me right to my purpose. So now the pain, that breakup, and that moment that I thought I was done, it was only the beginning. Now I help other women rise, and I speak the words that I once needed to hear. And I sit across from my clients with a fire in my chest and I say, you're not broken, you're becoming. Because I became, because they reminded me, my friends, my sisters, they reminded me that I could.
And that's such a beautiful story, Dana. It really is. And I think when each of us talk about turning pain into power, it is very personal. It's not just a pretty phrase. We've all experienced pain. And the work I do now as a hypnotherapist, just as you, wasn't born from books or theory. It was born from the ashes of my own story. I came from a very cold, lonely relationship with the woman who gave birth to me. She wasn't nurturing. She wasn't gentle. She wasn't safe. So from the time I was really small, I was told as well that women couldn't be trusted by my own mother. And being a girl took that in like oxygen. And so I learned early on that I was a suspect and that I was wrong somehow. That because I was a woman, I was female, there was something wrong with me, that I couldn't count on softness from one place, the one place it should have come from. So love was something I watched from the outside. She gave it to other people around me. She gave it to my brother, deeply gave it to him, to strangers, but never to me. I become the scapegoat, the one who was always wrong, the problem, the daughter who didn't deserve tenderness, love, or trust. And that early pain became the lens that I saw myself through. And it shaped what I thought, what I was worth, and it shaped what I accepted from others as well. So at a very young age, I was literally married off to someone who mirrored that same coldness in a little different ways, though, in greater ways and in abusive ways. And that was another chapter of feeling unseen, unheard, unworthy, chained into a cage. But even in those darkest places, there was some wild ember of fire inside of me that just refused to die. And I really knew that number one, I would never be the kind of mother that I had. And that the man that I had married it was not all right for him to treat me that way. And I vowed to break that cycle, to be the softness that I never received, to be the protector that I always longed for. And even that ache that I felt so long for so many years, when people around me would call their mom, like just when you want to call your mom, because that should be the person who supports you and understands you. But I didn't have that kind of mom. So that hole for many years never seemed to fill. And it literally became my vow. The mother wound did not break me. It really initiated me. And I actually took that and I become mother to many, not only my own children, but to anyone who needed someone to say, I see you, you matter, you're safe here. And I think that that's what our work is really about. The work that Dana and I do in hypnotherapy and just as people, loving other people. And that's another reason why Dana and I have created the Women Who Rise retreat that's coming up in October.
So if you've been feeling like your soul's stirring and like you're ready for something more, something sacred and more powerful and transformative, then let me tell you about
This retreat, it's for the woman who still carries the sting of being unloved. It's for the daughter that never heard "I'm proud of you" and now struggles with being proud of herself as an adult. It's for the ones ready to break the chain and finally feel free. I mean, it's not just a retreat, it's like a reclamation of your life, turning that pain into the radiance of your purpose. This is really how we take heartbreak and turn it into power. How we learn to rise above all the circumstances that we've endured.
And healing can't always be done in isolation. That's why retreats, sisterhood, and hypnotherapy, it all matters. You need mirrors to remember your power when you forget it.
The beautiful
And
thing about retreats and sisterhood is that when you can't, we can. And we can help you get back to who you were.
and when you don't see your worth, trust me, others do. Because Holly and Jill taught me that. And I mean, we've been there for each other. It's not just a give thing.
No, not at all.
I can see Holly more than she can. She can see the worth in me more than I can. Just as we can see the worth in all of you. And that a pain that you used to hide, it's really just now it fuels your passion. You just need to turn it into fuel. And what belief about pain you were taught that you had to unlearn? Like when, you have to let go of the toxic belief that if I'm not achieving, I'm not healing. And really, rest is power. Tears are power. Stillness is power. Power is presence. It's not performance. And to be present and understand where you need to go from here, how to climb out of the hole, how to climb that mountain. And, there's so many different ways to do it.
Yes, there are numerous ways.
So,
We're going to give you some tips and tools during this episode, but also that will be greatly expanded on during the retreat. We all can use a little help. We all need each other, and forming those bonds and breaking those chains, giving pain a voice, allowing the pain that cracked you open to have its voice and to have its place. You claim it, and that's the first act of power.
and the worst part, you already lived it. You already lived the worst part, the event, the trauma, the abandonment. It happened, whatever that trauma was. And now it's just time to reclaim that part of you that got stuck, the part of you that shrunk, the part of you that silenced its voice. And hypnotherapy can help to reclaim that frozen inner part, which is how the retreat is set up to help do that. And we use hypnotherapy and amongst other tools. It's not just hypnotherapy.
Yes.
And it's not a one-time thing. Healing isn't a one-time thing. You'll have to heal and heal and heal again. But having the tools and a community behind you to help you makes
power.
that happen. That is great power.
Yeah, that's power in itself. I mean, what happened to me and to Dana and to anyone out there is part of our stories, but it's not the end. Not the end of our stories. And the great thing about hypnotherapy is that we can reframe that story. We can help you reframe that story, not as the victim, but as the warrior who lived to tell it, who lived through it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because I mean, most of our pain isn't just the event, it's the meaning that we assigned to it. It wasn't what happened, it was what we made that mean to us. And so I had a breakup. I felt like a failure. Was I a failure? No, I was not a failure. I was never a failure.
Right.
But I assigned that meaning to that breakup, that I didn't do enough, when I did more than anyone should ever have to. And the same with Holly. She
Yeah.
assigned that to not being able to be loved. And she accepted that. And that's not true, because I love her dearly.
But that's how all of these other things come into our lives. I mean, for the longest time, I thought if I could just be better, if I could just be more quiet, I could just keep my mouth shut, if I could just do good, be good, maybe somebody would love me, because my mother didn't love me. So there has to be something wrong with me, when that was the furthest from the truth. I wasn't the broken one. I was not broken. She has her own demons. She has her own story, and it affected me. But I can either remain a victim and keep making bad choices in men, keep making bad choices in friendships and relationships, and think that I'm the broken one, I have nothing to offer, I'm worthless. Or I can rise up out of that, and I can use the pain that I've endured through my life to give myself a voice, to help others find their voice. There's this beautiful thing when you begin to become who you needed when you were in that situation. Were you unloved? Be the love. Were you unseen? Be others. Unprotected? Be someone's safe haven. This is how we can even rewrite generational pain into personal power.
And flip that script.
Yes. Yes.
You know, what if all the pain, like, think about this, what if all the pain and all the suffering that you've gone through was just the artist sculpting your future self into your hero's journey? It was your hero's journey.
Yes. Yes.
You're the hero.
Heroine's journey. We always say hero, but yeah, we can be heroines. Definitely. Witness yourself in your wholeness, that the pain never defines you. The pain was given to you, and you get to choose what to do with it. You get to choose how to use it. So, you can carry your past, but don't let it carry you. Change that, flip that script, rewrite it, what you do with that pain, and how you can transmute that into your own personal power.
And honestly, I mean, we're not here to just bypass and just think positive.
Yes.
That's not what we're saying. We're saying that true empowerment comes from facing the wound and then choosing to heal from it and to grow from it and to rise.
Yes.
Consciously, like making that effort, making the decision that I'm not going to stay down. I'm going to rise.
Exactly. Scream it out, shout it out, cry. Tears are powerful release. Speak your truth out loud. And if you don't have anybody who wants to listen to that truth, journal it and know that we are a sacred, safe place to listen. We are here. Individually, Dana and I both take clients on, but at the retreat, there will be other people going through similar situations who will also honor you and understand you. And that's so important, to feel seen and heard, and to not be judged about your pain. I think the worst part is when you go through something and you share it, you become vulnerable and you share it with someone and they say, well, what did you do? I don't believe in shaming someone who went through great pain, and Dana doesn't either. So,
No, and power isn't, you don't have power unless you've had pain.
yes.
You can't have power without pain. Think about any person that actually does or has accomplished great things. There was something before that that caused pain. I mean, even thinking about a phoenix itself, a phoenix isn't powerful despite the fire. It's powerful because of the fire.
Yes. It is forged in the
So-
fire. You are forged in the fire. And to share your pain, to speak your truth, means you're not hiding it anymore. You are rising wildly, beautifully, truthfully up into this world being seen and saying, these things happened to me, yet I still rise, yet I'm still me. And I'm remembering who I was. I'm remembering who I am. I am becoming who I want to be.
Absolutely.
That a lot of you have went through. So many scenarios that you can go through. And we would love to have a very sacred discussion in the comments if you would like to. And so you would like to transmute into power, or what pain you have turned into your own personal power. And as Dana keeps reminding us, it's not power like you have power over someone. No, it's you reclaiming your own power.
Over yourself.
Yes.
Right. So, yeah, tell us, when did you realize that your pain had purpose? And what did your pain make possible? We'd love to know.
Yes.
And
Or what pain would you like to transmute, and how much it affects your life not transmuting it into power? Because it can really keep us so oppressed from feeling all of the emotions that tie along with that pain. And our body holds those emotions within it. So even allowing your body to speak to you and to release, dance it out, allow that pain to flow out, breathe, do that breath work, because that trauma lives in the body, but power does too. So when you have movement in the body, even if it's breath, it helps release the pain. The body remembers pain, but it also remembers how to rise.
yes, it does. And the subconscious learns through repetition and imagery. So power becomes a new habit through repetition. It's not just a one-time revelation. You can't say, oh, I have the power, and then it happens. No, you have to continuously tell yourself and tell yourself. I know we've said this many, many times. Stand in front of that mirror and say the lines. Tell yourself what you need to hear.
Yes. Even in little ways. I mean,
Mhm.
there's little ways that you can reclaim your power as you're working on healing your wounds. Say no, walk away, choose yourself. And each time you protect your peace, you reclaim your power. Every
Yes.
boundary that you set is for your freedom.
Mhm. Tell your boss, again, you're not going to work that overtime. You're not going to work on your day off. Tell your spouse, your partner, whoever, that you just don't feel like making dinner tonight. I know, I say that all the time. And
Me too. Why do you people need to eat?
it's a fend for yourself night. And
Yeah.
I don't get complaints anymore. So,
Yeah.
and that was a boundary with my own children.
Yes. Yes.
Don't worry, they're adults. They're not.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, want any other kinds of tips, I think that's almost about all the time they have.
I did want to mention one more thing, is that when pain stays unspoken, unaddressed, it festers. But when you name that pain and you claim it, that's actually your first act of power.
Yes.
Feel it, be in it, sit with it, and release it, or reach out to get help releasing it, or come to the retreat and we'll all help you release it. But
Absolutely.
honor what hurts you. By doing that, you are no longer hiding it.
It's like the old story, Rumpelstiltskin. She had to know his name to break free from the power, to claim her own power.
So by naming your pain, by speaking it out, you claim it and you release it and you transmute it into your own personal power.
And
I think that that's probably all the time we have today.
yeah,
But we
so
appreciate you listening and being here with Dana and I. And we thank you for even just hearing a little piece of our stories as well. And we would love to hear a little piece of your story if you would like to drop it in the comments wherever you're listening. Spotify, YouTube, Facebook. We're just about on all the platforms. So reach out. Let's have a great conversation about turning pain into power. And watch our Facebook page, Flip That Script podcast, to find out more about the retreat and more about tips with hypnotherapy.
like, share, subscribe, share the knowledge.
Yes. And definitely, if you know someone who feels so broken by their pain,
Yes.
podcast so that they know they are not broken. They are cracked wide open, waiting for the light to shine back in and for them to be able to remember who they are and transmute that pain into power.
Yes. And, even if you want to hear let's talk about something else. Maybe you want to know something that we haven't covered yet. Let us know what you'd like to hear about, and we'll get to that.
Yes, yes. And we will see you next week and have another fascinating topic for you to tune into.
So, bye.
Bye.